And that's what music gives you the possibility to do. It gives you the possibility to connect on a very human, emotional, and primal level with another human being.
Singing his song. All the little birds on Jaybird Street love to hear the robin go tweet, tweet, tweet. Rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet, rockin' Robin, tweet, tweet. Blow rockin' Robin, 'cause we really gonna rock 'em tonight. Every little swallow, every chickadee.
Just to give you kind of a little background, Music in Memory takes music that was important to the individual when they were younger, when they still had all their memories. Dementia takes that away from an individual, but they still have those memories deep down inside. And what happens with the music is that the music awakens those memories. You know, a person with dementia is afraid because they really don't know what's happening to them. They've lost their recall for recent things. They don't remember who their family members are, but the music brings back things that they do remember.
I had heard about it probably about a year ago, but then Casey and her group came to us February or March and introduced us to it, you know, taught us some things, and it looked really good, and they gave us 10 iPods to start the trial off with, and it's worked very well. Well, Betty, she was actually a receptionist here at Kentmere. She didn't have much family. It was very hard to get up for care or eating, kind of in her own mindset, what she wants to do, and her mind's made up, she won't.
So you said you were a dancer.
Oh, yeah, years ago.
What kind of dancing did you do?
Huh?
What kind of dancing did you do?
Oh, back then I did all kinds.
Like polka dancing, line
I like
dancing, tap dancing?
Yeah.
I heard, you know, prior she did do some Broadway shows in New York. She was very, very good a dancer.
Did you teach dance?
Teach dancing?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't teach it. No.
Well, can you tell me how the music makes you feel?
Good.
Good?
Good.
Yeah?
I love music.
You love music?
Oh, yeah.
When you put the music on for her, she will get up, she'll go to eat, she'll start clapping, be happy.
Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me.
Like as you heard her say when I asked her those questions, that music is life. She just loves it, so. And you need music to dance.
Every day you love music?
Every day?
Every day?
As far as I know, I do.
Folks are living longer now, and the longer you live, the more probability or chances you'll have to get some form of dementia. There are about 90 different forms. Folks with dementia have different types of behaviors. Some can be withdrawn, some can act out, some are very frustrated, some don't communicate as well. And what we have found and what I have observed is that when we put the iPod on and we start to play their favorite musicians from years past, that they start to talk a little more about their lives, that they are less anxious, less nervous.
In 2006 on the radio, a journalist was talking about how iPods are ubiquitous. They're everywhere. And I thought, well, young people all have them, many of us older adults. But if you're in a nursing home, it just didn't seem to be a true statement.
Several years ago, I had seen the video Alive Inside, and I was just fascinated by what happened with the residents in that video. Then, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I actually heard Dan Cohen, who's the founder of Music in Memory, speak. And this just seemed to be a program that would work well in any setting.
We contacted the national folks from the Music in Memory in New York, and we got information about how to start this. And we decided to start with 10 facilities, pilot 10 facilities and 10 folks within each facility, because we wanted to also have the folks here track the progress. We wanted to get some data, and that's what we've been doing.
To me, there's only one great kind of music, and that is grand opera. I could spend over an hour just listening to Verdi or Puccini, or maybe the French once in a while. I can't stand that rock and roll stuff. I love Gounod's Faust, which is it opened the Metropolitan Opera House in the 19th century.
So Ned comes to my office whenever he wants to listen to the music, and it's usually charging in one of my outlets here. We hook it onto his pants here, and he knows that you can forward or you can rewind. So Ned controls the iPod on his own.
Well, it's allowed me to listen, thanks to you, to the tape of all my favorite music. I do it almost every day.
And usually he comes in the afternoons after lunch, and then he has it all afternoon. Sometimes takes a nap with it.
And I'm gonna put your wheels onto your wheelchair. Your legs onto your wheelchair, okay?
Sure. I'm just a victim. You do whatever you want. When my wife was dying, and I sat by her bedside watching her go bit by bit, I was very sad. But it turns out to be funny. She dies. She'd take a deep breath, and I think, oh, there she goes. And I'm ready to go into hysterics. But then she'd breathe again. And I said to her, Carolyn, this is not the fourth act of Traviata. Are you going or aren't you? And to my surprise, and I'm sure yours also, she sat straight up in bed, threw her arms around my neck, and said, oh, and kissed me. And she said, oh, Ned, you're so funny. How many women would do that? Some of them would get up and smack my face. So Traviata, when I put it on, and I put it on almost once a week, I don't feel sad when I hear it. I have memory of my wife, and she was still alive, and we were still talking. I told you that music has charm to soothe the savage breast. Not beast, but breast.
Once their anxiety is lessened, the facilities do not have to rely on drugs to try and calm the residents down. So we see a decrease in the use of antipsychotic medications.
A lot of times as nurses, the first thing we go to do, oh, let's give them their antipsychotic, let's give them their anti-anxiety med, but you can do a lot of other things, you know.
I just finished preparing an in-service. I'm going to launch, hopefully, I guess maybe next month, on the management of challenging behaviors in residents with dementia. And I'm definitely plugging the music and memory program, you know, as a non-pharmacological intervention, but, you know, what we've seen.
Yes. Obviously, the goal here is to use medications, but secondary to that is music memory. And hopefully, in some cases, maybe that'll be the first thing we go to, rather than medications.
Okay, how are you?
Quite a trip to meet each other.
Could you dance the polka? Oh, of course I did. We went to the Armory in Wilmington, and there was St. Stanislaus Church there.
Yes.
And we ended up dancing. We had our reception in the Newcastle Armory. It was quite large. We had a lot of people in the band and a lot of good music and food, and just had a good, my grandparents were still living then, and it made it special having them there.
When she first came here, she was very agitated. She always would ask, you know, can you help me? What's going on next? Very, very high anxiety level. The medications was not working, to be quite honest. And it would work, I wouldn't say it would work all the time. It would work in periods.
There you go. Can you hear it okay?
I can hear it very, very low, but I can hear it
Very low? Okay, let's turn it up. Tell me when, okay?
We have found with the music, it's a longer period of time. So she, at first, when we would put the music on, it would only work when the music was on for her. Now, I'm noticing that even without the music, it's working. And she is coming to us and saying, okay, do you have the music now? Which is great. And I think she may feel herself getting to that anxiety point, or feeling maybe depressed or feeling very anxious. And she knows that the music is a source of calming her down and taking her to another place.
It makes me feel really good. It makes me feel like I'm in a different time.
What time are you at?
Probably, yeah, 1960.
And so music takes you back to those type of memories, those good memories.
Yeah, very good memories that you'll never have again. But you just cherish them and think back what a wonderful time you did have. That it didn't have to be something sensational, that we're there with family and just doing your normal thing.
Long-term care is a very intense type of health care. And a lot of our residents with dementia, again, because they're afraid, they're anxious, they don't understand, they'll fight the staff when the staff is trying to provide care.
Yesterday I was at DHCI and I was on a particular unit where they've been having some difficulties with a recent admission, and he's been very, very aggressive, and he's actually hurt several staff. And so he's slowly getting used to the facility, but yesterday I saw him in the day room. He had his iPod on, he had the headphones, and he was just standing and clapping, and it was just, it just brought chills.
I know that for some of the CNAs it's really hard for them to get certain residents up to go to the bathroom. When the music came along, we tried the music out, because I guess she was in a bad mood, or I don't know. But we put the music on her and she instantly cheered up and she stood up and they could take her to the bathroom with no problem. It was actually kind of a miracle. We were like, what's going on here?
This is a way to help understand what's going on with that person, where they've come from, what their likes, their dislikes are. It's a way to get to know that individual that we may not have been able to use before without the music bringing back some of those memories.
There was a man there, and he was 80 years old, and he liked country music. As soon as he heard Loretta Lynn belt out Coal Miner's Daughter, Proud to be a Coal Miner's Daughter, he said, worked in coal mine. And that's when we asked him, did you just say you worked in a coal mine? And he shook his head, worked coal mine. So he was not able to put any words together that anyone could understand until he heard that song, and then something triggered in him. So it was eye-opening.
Governor Bacon, I don't know if you realize it, but it's a nursing home that takes patients that no other nursing home will take. So we have some very difficult behaviors and diagnoses and things like that. You know, if we can do something through something like music and memory rather than medication, we want to do that. We always want to focus on the residents and their particular needs and what they want.
Eddie, we actually chose Eddie for the Music and Memory program, not so much because of his dementia, but because of his other behaviors. He would have a lot of verbal and physical aggression, maintain a state of agitation. He doesn't have family. He actually has a court-appointed guardian. He had a lot of abuse issues and substance. A lot of his dementia is related to that. It's secondary. I take it he lived a pretty rough life.
Do you like your music, Eddie? Yeah? Can you hear it? What's playing? It's country? What do you think about when you hear those songs? You think about your mom and dad? You sing?
And then realizing that the music, having the music on, he can cut out all the external stimuli in his environment. Someone is saying something and it wasn't directed at him. He thought it was. He would automatically go back with the verbal. Now it doesn't happen because everybody can be talking and doing what they want, but he's here.
So Eddie used to not eat in the dining room very often because you would hear other people saying stuff and you got mad, right? So we started putting your music on during lunch. Then you didn't hear everyone else and you got to hear your favorite music. And now you come in here and you eat every day in here, right?
Yeah. It keeps his mood in a nice, stable We have less aggression. He eats much better. He was our #1 choice for this project, for Music of Memory, and for this film because he is a success story.
You give the best hugs, Eddie. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Huh? David. Hi, David. Hi. You ready for some more music? David had a little bit of anger sometimes, not being purposeful in what he was doing. He would just all of a sudden start running. Then sometimes he'd seem lost, like he didn't know where he was going. So once we got his shuffle ready and put it on him, it's like it's turning on a switch. With me. He'll shut his eyes and he'll start snapping. You saw today he'll lick his fingers so he can snap better. And he'll dance and put his hands up high and down low, and he'll get low and then get red when he stands back up. But he loves to do it, and he'll spin in circle for you sometimes. But he is much more vibrant when it's on him. He doesn't talk very much or at all. It's not that he can't, he just doesn't. But today, when we were all up there, as you noticed, he was quite vocal. So that is, but that's because of the music.
I think we should have played them back.
I'm just going to do a little teeny,
Is that good?
teeny,
Go ahead.
teeny bit.
Yeah.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see.
Woo! Bravo! That's good.
Music puts me in such a great space for me personally.
If I'm doing something around the house, I'm cleaning, whatever, turn on the music.
Music's my life, so I love going to reggae concerts, and I'm going to a folk fest. To get downstairs and just turn the radio on and, you know, get on the elliptical or the treadmill.
Oh, I worked one day to 7:30, and it was just, I was tired, and all of a sudden Linda Ronstadt's song came on, and I immediately got like happy, and I said, that's what it does.
Our hope is that we will get the program introduced to all 50 of our facilities, and then eventually we'll be able to cover all of the individuals with dementia.
I would like to see it expand to our assisted living, and I have when I go in for the post-survey meetings.
I'm hoping that we're going to see it used for not just dementia patients, but all types of patients.
You know, the more people that you have involved, the more people that, you know, understand the program and how it works.
If it was for me, I would ask that we involve anytime we have a new resident, this will be something that we would try to introduce to them.
It just makes their life much more pleasant and pleasing.
It's a release for them.
Their appetite is better. Their sleeping patterns are better.
It's getting them more engaged, more active, less anxious, on less drugs.
As I said, it's another tool for the staff to have in their toolbox to use.
I want my iPod to be loaded with the Beatles, the Beach Boys.
I have a lot of gospel music. I have Coldplay on there.
Bob Marley, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin.
I like a lot of like 80s.
Well, it's something that's intergenerational. It's something that everybody is exposed to. It's something that I'd say at least 99.9% of people love and relate to. And I think that's why this program works so well.